An 8-year-old boy named Leiby Kletzky, living in the Brooklyn district of New York City, suddenly went missing on July 11, 2011. Shortly thereafter, parts of his body were found in a garbage bin. The murder shocked the Jewish community in Borough Park, considered one of the most peaceful areas in New York City, and stirred public outrage, especially because the murderer himself was an Orthodox Jew. At 6:14 a.m. on July 11th, phone rang at a repair shop on Wallabout Street, Brooklyn. Esty Forster Kletzky, Leiby's mother, tearfully informed the Brooklyn Shomrim volunteer team that her 8-year-old son Leiby had gone missing after failing to return home from the yeshiva camp. It was the first time Leiby was allowed to walk alone around the neighborhood where he lived. That same evening, police, along with hundreds of volunteers from Borough Park, Flatbush, Williamsburg, and many Jewish neighborhoods in the Northeast, coordinated with K-9 units and helicopters to search throughout the night, hoping to find Leiby. According to descriptions, Leiby was last seen around 5 p.m., with light brown hair, wearing black glasses, gray-blue striped shirt, jeans, and carrying a backpack labeled Nechmad Day Camp. Many urgent calls were made to neighboring districts for help, offering a $100,000 reward for any information about the boy. Yaakov German, a Brooklyn resident, unexpectedly provided the police with crucial evidence, marking a breakthrough in the search. German had gone to 30 houses and businesses on 44th Street asking to review surveillance tapes. While some refused, at an auto manufacturing company 3 buildings away, he found a tape showing Leiby getting into a car with a strange man. According to German's account, Leiby was walking along 44th Street, but missed his turn at 13th Avenue. The footage showed Leiby standing alone at the intersection of 45th Avenue, 18th Avenue, and Day Hill Road at 5:30 p.m. About 7 minutes later, the boy and a stranger, described as wearing a white shirt and dark pants, got into a tan-colored car and drove towards Day Hill Road. The images revealed that the mysterious man went to see a dentist at a nearby clinic. Detectives tracked this dentist from his home in New Jersey. He recalled someone paying for a routine appointment. The police traced the individual using credit card information and records provided by the volunteers. After a day and a half of searching, police identified the man in the video as Leiby Kletzky, living on 2nd Street in the eastern part of Brooklyn. Detectives quickly arrived at Aaron's house around 2:40 a.m. on July 13th. When they asked where the boy was, Aaron nodded and coldly pointed toward the kitchen. Police found bloodstains on the refrigerator door handle. Inside were horrifying sights: 2 severed feet wrapped in plastic bags, blood-stained cutting board, and 3 blood-soaked knives. Nearby was a large garbage bag containing a blood-soaked towel. The remaining body parts of the boy had been dismembered and wrapped in small plastic bags, placed in a red suitcase, and thrown into a trash bin in a nearby neighborhood about 2 miles from Brooklyn. The killer's bizarre story. On Monday afternoon, around 5:30 p.m., I went to see Dr. Sorcher to pay for some routine dental checkups. A boy approached me and asked for directions to the Judaica bookstore. He was still there when I left the clinic. He asked me to take him to the bookstore, but then changed his mind and seemed unsure where he wanted to go. After that, I took him to a wedding in Monsey, 41 miles from Brooklyn. Due to traffic, we returned quite late, around 11:30 p.m. I brought him back home and thought I would notify his parents the next day. I made him a tuna sandwich because I feared he was hungry. He watched TV and fell asleep in the living room. I changed clothes and went to bed. The next morning, the boy was still asleep when I got ready to take him home. The above is an excerpt from Leiby Kletzky's statement at the police station. His portrayal made it seem as if he was a caring and thoughtful person toward the child. Leiby Aaron, 35, was a sales employee at Empire State Supply, working at a store in Kensington. Lee stated that after his divorce, Aaron continued living alone in the attic of his parents' and uncle's house. Police Commissioner Kelly reported that he had once been cited for public urination, but had no prior criminal record. A neighbor had told authorities that Aaron once tried to lure her son into his car but failed, and she didn't pay much attention to him. His co-workers noted that on Tuesday, Aaron was working normally without showing any unusual behavior. After his shift ended at 4:45 p.m., he shaved meticulously before leaving the store. Aaron's ex-wife described him as a private and shy man around strangers. He enjoyed music, karaoke, and watching American Idol. However, his stepfather said Aaron was eccentric and foolish.
He was seen on video leaving the school at 5:05 p.m. Monday. 35 minutes later, Leiby was in a 1990 brown Honda Accord with Leiby Aaron, who subsequently brought the boy to his apartment, killed him there, and then dismembered the body, according to statements that he made.
Experts believe Leiby was tied up and tried to resist before being killed. Police Commissioner Kelly reported that Aaron had several scratches on his forearms and elbows, indicating signs of struggle. Preliminary autopsies revealed the victim had been strangled to death. On July 20, 2011, the New York City Medical Examiner's Office released the results of an autopsy that revealed that Leiby had been injected with a toxic cocktail of a muscle relaxant, an antipsychotic, and 2 painkillers before being suffocated to death. On August 9, 2011, the Medical Examiner's Office revealed that Leiby had been injected with a 5th drug, commonly used to treat anxiety and depression. Hours after the full autopsy results were released, the Brooklyn District Attorney's Office formally charged Leiby Aaron with murder and kidnapping. These charges carry a maximum penalty of life in prison without parole. Day after the indictment was announced, Gerard Marone, Leiby Aaron's defense attorney, withdrew his name from the case because the allegations of the defendant's crimes were too horrific. The case was then reluctantly transferred to Pierre Bazile, a lawyer who specializes in defending defendants with mental health problems. At the trial, Leiby was asked to undergo a psychiatric examination after Pierre Bazile told the judge that his client may be mentally ill because he had heard strange voices and often had hallucinations. In addition, the attorney also stated that his family had a history of mental illness, with a sister who died of schizophrenia. According to Aaron's testimony, he woke Leiby and became extremely panicked when he saw the missing boy's notices. He used a towel to suffocate Leiby. When the boy became motionless, he began to cut the body into pieces and threw them out of the house. Kelly said, "This is the worst nightmare for any parent. It is the human element that makes the case extremely scary." During the trial, Aaron kept his head down and remained motionless. Lawyer Pierre Bazile requested that Aaron be carefully guarded to prevent him from committing suicide. When asked about Aaron's motive for killing Leiby, Kelly said that he had mental problems and was influenced by unusual sexual orientation. However, he also shared that the motive was still very vague. What is really puzzling about this case is that every detail seems unreasonable and complicated, going against all the arguments of the investigating agency. There is no reasonable reason to explain the murder of an 8-year-old boy by the murderer Aaron, other than the possibility that he is a psychopath. After the preliminary hearing, Leiby Aaron was charged with second-degree murder. On August 29, 2012, as part of a plea agreement, Judge Neil Feiertag sentenced Leiby Aaron to 25 years in prison for murder and 15 years in prison for kidnapping. The total sentences were 40 years in prison. Okay, I think we'll wrap up the story here. What do you think of this case? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you for sticking with us until the end of the video. We'll see you in the next video. Take care of yourself, take care of those around you, and of course, stay safe. Thank you, and goodbye.